Hey, welcome. Today we're going to talk about leaving hackers stranded and penniless with zero networks. I mean, who wouldn't want to leave an attacker stranded and penniless? I mean, it's ultimately the goal of all of us here working in cybersecurity. But good to meet you. I'm Nicholas DiCola, the security Jedi and VP of customers here at Zero Networks. So let's dive in and take a talk about this. So I always start out with this slide. It's one of my favorite slides, and I ask people, hey, what does this look like to you? And I typically get responses like, oh, somebody on their vacation day, which we don't get very often in cybersecurity. I had one person tell me it looks like a scene from the new Gladiator movie. That's entirely possible as well. Great movie, by the way. But I say, no, this is what an attacker is like when they're inside your network. So why are they running so freely in your network? It's because networks are too open and accounts are too permissive. And basically, when an attacker gets in, they can spread laterally very easy. So we have a saying that one compromised equals all compromised. It could be a drive-by website. It could be a phishing attack. It doesn't really matter. But once the attacker is in on the first machine, if you look at something like the MITRE playbook, the attacker follows the same attack patterns to laterally move throughout the network. And there's multiple things they can do, but most of the time they just use open privilege ports that are already open in the network to move to the next machine, to move to the next machine. And when I was at Microsoft and we did some IR work, we typically saw an attacker had domain admin privileges in less than 72 hours. Very, very common. So it's very easy for them to get laterally and spread throughout the network. So, okay, we know that attackers can do that, and we continue to see that companies are spending more and more on cybersecurity. The data breaches continue to rise. They're not going down, and the average cost of a data breach continues to go up according to various sources here. But this is not good. We're spending more money. We're having more incidents. It's not going down. Like, this is a problem that we really need to solve. So we know microsegmentation will help bring this down because we're closing down the networks and stopping the attackers from spreading. So when we talk to customers about their segmentation maturity, most are somewhere on this various level, and most would like to be kind of down in the advanced or holistic because they know the security posture gains they would get would be through the roof, like it would go up, even though the arrow is pointing down. It's okay. But the historical effort and cost to get to holistic segmentation is extremely high, right? And so when we ask customers like, okay, it's high, like, why not? Why would you not go there if you know the gains are very, very high from a security posture perspective? And we hear lots of challenges. It's a never-ending deployment. We're going to get low ROI. So most folks don't even invest in trying microsegmentation. And some that do don't even fully implement, right? So it's a small number. And even Gartner says the failure rate of network segmentation projects is high. Most projects last longer than the average tenure of a CISO. So that means a CISO will start that project, leave, and move on to his next effort or project or job, and not even finish that project because it just takes too long. And that was all true until Zero Networks came along. What we did is we reduced the effort and cost associated with microsegmentation, and we now make this something that's actually achievable for customers. So first, we fully automated segmentation by having a learning engine. It's very deterministic. Learn the environment and automate building the rules so you don't have to. We also deploy in a very easy manner, which is agentless, using native controls available on the hosts or the network level to control access to those machines. And more importantly, we knew from an attacker perspective, looking at that MITRE ATT&CK framework, that once an attacker's in, they want that privileged access. And so we built a just-in-time MFA-based capability for privileged access. So now those privilege ports are closed all the time and only opened after the user MFAs. So we have a great quote from one of our customers here who said, hey, our microsegmentation project was planned to be 2 years, and we've now shortened that down to 6 months with Zero Networks because we can actually achieve that very quickly with the capabilities Zero Networks provides. So now they're freeing up resources to go focus on their next cybersecurity project or zero trust project in their cybersecurity journey because we allow them to do that with Zero Networks. So now instead of having one compromised equals all compromised, when you have Zero Networks, it's one compromised equals none compromised. So now when an attacker gets in, they start poking around. They can't find anything open on the network. They're not able to laterally move. And what do? They get up and they leave, and they go to the customer that doesn't have Zero Networks or doesn't have microsegmentation in the environment, and they ultimately start there because they can easily laterally move through the environment. So Microsegmentation is ultimately the solution that solves the problem, but it solves many different problems across environments and businesses. The main goal being stopping ransomware and stopping attackers from spreading, but you can also equate that to passing a pen test, right? That's ultimately attacker getting in the environment and spreading. We've had some customers come and say like, hey, insurance is requiring all of our admin operations now require MFA. Because we do that just-in-time MFA, we can solve those type of capabilities as well as compliance capabilities. We hear customers say, hey, we know we have to segment off these assets because they're part of some compliance like PCI DSS, and we need to be able to report on that. And we easily do that in Zero Networks to help customers solve these challenges. So these might be a few challenges that you have that we hope we can solve for you as well. And in terms of our customers, you can see multiple customers here. You can check out our website. We have lots of customers. But most importantly, customers love what we do because we took this super hard problem and we made it very easy for them to solve it in their environment. And so we have very high Gartner peer insights, one of the highest CSAT scores I've ever seen. And just an example from one of our existing customers, Evercore, one of their big challenges was they knew if an attacker got in, they could easily spread through the environment as proof from their pen tests. Once they segmented with Zero Networks, now they have zero of those pen test findings. They've all been closed down and the attacker couldn't move throughout their environment. And most importantly, they did this without professional services or having to add additional headcount in their environment. Again, we make it very easy for the customer. So they used less than 1 FTE to manage this across their environment, and it's very easy for them to get segmented and solve this problem for them. So thank you for taking the time to hear me out, and I hope you have a great day. Take care.